Now I invite Dr. Apurva Purani. He is going to speak on a symposium on Humanities as an Aid for Epilepsy Awareness and Education. He is Director of Puranic Academy of Medical Education, ex-Professor MGM Medical College, Indore, Dean Academics, Teaching and Research, Vishesh Jupiter Hospital. His area of specialization are neurology, aphysiology, neurolinguistics, advocacy, public health education and patient education. He is a recipient of the Park Davis Award in Epilepsy in 1994. He is a membership of the Public Education Commission, membership of the Citizen Ambassador Program, mentor advisor, Palatusi Advocacy Program, American Academy of Neurology, Cherak Award, Indian Medical Association, and a visiting professorship of Association of Physicians of India. He is going to speak on something which is very soft, which is literary, and as we know, epilepsy, while he is arranging his slides, epilepsy has been a part of literature. Dostoevsky, the Russian writer, mentioned 6 characters in his book about epilepsy. So let us see what Dr. Puranik has for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I will thank the organizers for their wisdom of accepting or rather idiosyncratic title in this conclave, Humanities as an Ad for Epilepsy Awareness and Education. So what a leap from AI to arts. Awareness and education about epilepsy are important for all target groups. I think this makes an intuitive sense. Everybody will agree. And I tried to do a brief review of literature, and I'm not going to share all that. Just a sample, a random, arbitrary sample of a paper which says that health literacy and quality of life in patients with treatment-resistant epilepsy are helpful. So that's one. They're important. Number 2, we all know that awareness and education about epilepsy are low across all target groups. Again, I do not want to go into a detailed review of literature, just one arbitrary sample of a paper with the title of Negative Attitudes and Limited Health Literacy as a Risk Factor for Low Awareness of Epilepsy in Turkey. There are many methods and means to raise awareness and education, conventional and non-conventional, and I am going to talk mainly about unconventional method, that is humanity. So whatever be the means of raising the awareness and education, that can be described under 3 headings: the content, the medium, and the recipients. The recipients are all, including the doctors, the neurologists, the epileptologists, and ranging from general public to patients to family members up to media persons. The conventional methods are also well known. They include the print methods, face-to-face and digital method. The examples of print methods are well known. They can range very widely from very brief and simple to very exhaustive and high level. And all these print medium things can be made available in digital medium also. Face-to-face examples are also well known, lectures and meetings and one-on-one conversation. And digital mediums are also well known. Fortunately, in the last 2 decades, digital mediums have come to of a great help. YouTube videos, podcast audios, websites, blogs, webcasts, webinars, and all that. Another research question: is there evidence that interventions to raise awareness and education do work? Again, there are large number of papers and I do not want to go into the details. Again, just 1 or 2 papers chosen arbitrarily as a sample. Now this study from Madagascar, and this meta-analysis, a systemic review of effectiveness of community-based interventions aimed at improving health literacy of parents and carers of children. So all these things are very clear. Everybody will agree that awareness and education is important. Awareness and education are low, and means to raise the awareness and education do work. So far so good. But now I am going to talk about humanities. So what are humanities? These are academic disciplines which study the human condition, a very broad definition. Humanities use methods which are primarily analytical, critical and speculative, as distinguished from the mainly empirical approaches of natural science. Humanities include classical subjects, or you can say any subject in which you get a degree of BA or MA, Bachelor of Art or Master of Art. Those are humanities. So they include literature, languages, philosophy, theology, applied subjects like linguistics, history, geography, and fine arts and performing arts. All these are part of humanities. What are not humanities? Humanities is not a plural of humanity. Humanities is a collective noun, and it shouldn't be confused with humanism, humanity, ethics, morality, good conduct, empathy, manavta, dharma, charity. However, the ultimate aims are same. There are many examples of humanities related content for epilepsy awareness and education, and I will briefly touch on them. They include short stories, drama and plays, comics, poem, paintings, artistic posters, literary essays, feature films. Okay, if you go to this website Cure Epilepsy, there are they are inviting the audience to share their epilepsy story from the patients, and they are putting them on website. They are printing books based on the stories, true stories of patients. These are some of my stories on epilepsy, which my content I am sharing in the blue carry bag. So I request all of you to carry that. So whatever content I have created is being distributed in the audience. So this was stories. The second part is drama and plays. And again, you go to this website of Epilepsy Foundation of America, and they are talking about how to connect epilepsy families through theater. And here is another facsimile of a drama written by me about epilepsy, which is there in this book letter. Then the third example of humanity is comic stories. They are a great help. And you can go to this website of comic books and epilepsy. And here are some of the examples of comics created by me for epilepsy education and awareness. Fourth is poems. And this is an Indian resource. Of course, there are foreign resources also. So that's Samir Singh. I won't play the whole video, but just an example. And here are some of the examples of poems collected by me. Only one has been written by me. The other two are written by Atul Agrawal. He was here in the morning from Lucknow, but long back, about 30 years back, he had sent me these two poems of him on epilepsy. Paintings by artists. In the bottom on that corner is a famous painting by Raphael known as Transfiguration, in which it's a story comes in Bible. So there are many paintings about epilepsy by artists which can help in creating a better sensibility. And these are the paintings which I commissioned at Indore about 25 years back. There was a local group of fine artists known as Halatol, which means halchal or turbulence in the mind of an artist. And I asked them to make paintings about epilepsy. Of course, I had a one-hour session with them and explained them about the basics of epilepsy, and then they came back to me with these paintings about epilepsy. Artistic posters, these have been taken from my book on epilepsy in Hindi, and this was the textbook which I wrote, and this was the artistic poster on the cover page of that book. Literary essays, there are many review articles available on epilepsy and literature. One by Peter Wolf is a very good chapter in a book on epilepsy in literature, and essay written by me on description of epilepsy in history and religion and arts. Then feature films and movies. Here is a list of some of the movies which deal with epilepsy as a subject. The time doesn't permit me to show you the clips or reviews of these movies, but you can later on search them and play for yourself. And then there are many documentary films. There are cartoons and humor and joke and movies and documentaries. So you enlarge that cartoon in the upper corner, and later on, and you search cartoon and epilepsy on Google, and you will find many cartoons and jokes about epilepsy. Carter Deem is a comedian who has epilepsy himself, and what does he say? I have epilepsy And it's pretty cool because I can describe myself as spontaneous and unpredictable. That's the way you should be able to laugh on yourself. And that comedian says, whenever I get boring, I can skip a dose and shake the things up a little bit. I shouldn't have said that last joke. I should have just bit my tongue. So this is how a stand-up comedian talks about epilepsy. And this is an animation created by International Bureau for Epilepsy and International League Against Epilepsy. So animated films can go a long way. Again, I will not play the whole video. Art therapy for epilepsy. Development and use of art therapy has been useful in seizure assessment. There can be sculptures, there can be artifacts. Patients diagnosed with psychogenic non-epileptic seizures created sculptures which were notably different from the patients diagnosed with true epilepsy. So there is a difference in the type of sculpture imagined and conceived and conceptualized by PNES, psychogenic non-epileptic versus epileptic seizure. And art therapy helped both PNES as well as epilepsy patients with emotional expression. So this art therapy has a significant role to play in epilepsy. Finally, who creates the content related to humanities? It is a teamwork. We need authors, storytellers, poets, dramatists, actors, directors, artists, visualizers, animators, of course, in collaboration with epileptologists. And I urge that we have another task cut out for us, and we shouldn't consider it as a lowly task. Finally, a question: is there evidence that use of humanities related content and methods will lead to better awareness and education? Unfortunately, I couldn't find any such study. I tried hard in PubMed and in Google Scholar. I got many studies on conventional methods, but not on unconventional methods of using. So another task for one of us, we can write a protocol how to study the effectiveness of humanities in raising the awareness. There are no such studies available. But I strongly believe, and I think most of you will agree, that they should be working. That should be the intuitive sense. One more point: there is a need to counter and correct negative portrayal of epilepsy in media and art. We all know that often in newspapers and TV serials and drama, the epilepsy is incorrectly portrayed. This is a paper published in Epilepsy and Behavior in 2016, where they say that epilepsy remains an attractive vehicle for filmmakers in the 21st century. This review examines the themes of 21 films released between 2000 to 2014, which feature a character with epilepsy or a pivotal scene involving a seizure. And epilepsy continues to be associated with supernatural in modern cinema. Also, demonic possession and epilepsy now share a similar cinematic lexicon. Unfortunately, the overlap is more than just visual. Supernatural treatment of narratives that claim to be based on true story. Epilepsy continues to signal otherness. The otherness is very harmful for a person suffering with epilepsy in movie characters, and seldom in a good way. An accurate and entertaining portrayal of this condition are also beginning to emerge gradually. So this is another task before all of us, the epileptologists and neurologists, that wherever we encounter a negative portrayal, we must write back. We must raise our voice about correcting that. So that's another duty for all us. So I think with that, I conclude, and please collect the kit containing samples of humanities related educational material about epilepsy created by me. Thank you very much.